Forecasting when volcanic eruptions will take place. A new technique has been discovered. University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign News Bureau. New volcanic eruption forecasting technique. It's on Science Daily today. Volcanic eruptions and their ash clouds pose a significant hazard to population centers and air travel, especially those that show few to no signs of unrest beforehand. Geologists are now using a technique traditionally used in weather and climate forecasting to develop new eruption forecasting models. By testing if the models are able to capture the likelihood of past eruptions, the researchers are making strides in the science of volcanic forecasting. The study, published by the journal Geophysical Research Letters, examined the eruption history of the Okmok volcano in Alaska. In 2008, a large eruption produced an ash plume that extended approximately 1 mile into the sky over the Aleutian Islands, posing a significant hazard to air traffic, aircraft engines along a route that transports roughly 50,000 people between Asia and North America every day, researchers said. The 2008 eruption of Okmok came as a bit of a surprise, said University of Illinois graduate student and lead author Jack Albright. He said after an eruption that occurred in 1997, there were periods of slight unrest, but very little seismicity or other eruption precursors. In order to develop better forecasting, it is crucial to understand volcanic eruptions that deviate from the norm, he said. Geologists typically forecast eruptions by looking for established patterns of pre-eruption unrest, such as earthquake activity, ground swelling, and gas release, researchers said. Volcanoes like Okmok, however, don't seem to follow these established patterns. To build and test new models, the team utilized a statistical data analysis technique developed after World War II called Kalman filtering. K-A-L-M-A-N. Kalman filtering. The version of Kalman filtering that was used for our study was updated in 1996 and has continued to be used in weather and climate forecasting as well as physical oceanography, said geology professor Patricia Gregg, a co-author of the study that included collaborators from Southern Methodist University and Michigan State University. She said, "We are the first group to use the updated method in volcanology, however, and it turns out that this technique works well for the unique unrest that led up to Okmok's 2008 eruption. One of those unique attributes is the lack of increased seismicity before the eruption," researchers said. In a typical pre-eruption sequence, it is hypothesized that the reservoir under the volcano stays the same size as it fills with magma and hot gases. That filling causes pressure in the chamber to increase, and the surrounding rock fractures and moves, causing earthquakes. In the 2008 eruption, it appears that the magma chamber grew large to accommodate the increased pressure, so we did not see the precursor seismic activity we would expect, Albright said. By looking back in time with our models, or hindcasting, we can now observe that stress had been building up in the rocks around the chamber for weeks, and the growth of the magma system ultimately led to its failure and eruption. This type of backward and forward modeling allows researchers to watch a volcano system evolve over time. While we stopped our analysis after the 2008 eruption, we are now able to propagate this new model forward in time, bring it to the present day, and forecast where Okmok volcano is heading next, Gregg said. The researchers posit that these models will continue to find other, less recognized eruption precursors, but acknowledge that every volcano is different and that the models must be tailored to fit each unique system. So the takeaway from this is, okay, they have a new technique. I still don't understand what they're doing, what the technique is. But what fascinates me and astonishes me is that the magma chamber is possible to grow and not stay static. because if the magma chamber was static, that means the pressure would increase and then you'd have an eruption. That's very easy to understand. But when you have a magma chamber that is growing with the filling of the magma, then you won't have the precursor earthquakes. And every volcano is different. So if you have a magma chamber that is growing like that, you won't be able to tell just by the foreshocks, the earthquake activity alone, or the deformation of the ground around that chamber. So that's astonishing and frightening, of course. I'll leave links below for you for this on Science Daily. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.